Hello. I moved to Corpus Christi for love, but what I really lacked at the time was a passion for the city, like a lot of people. And what I didn't realize was that Corpus Christi was going to inspire a passion in me for a city that I never imagined possible. My husband and I had pretty much made up our minds that Corpus Christi didn't have the saturation of culture that we were looking for. Sure, we have culture, but is it on every corner? Is it right in front of our faces? It wasn't enough. And I was involved. I was in the know, and it still wasn't enough. So we decided to leave. But there was something missing. There was something nagging at me about leaving the city that I had never felt about another city before. And I don't know if it was maybe that I hadn't really affected any major change here yet, or I hadn't reached any major milestones, or maybe it was the name, Corpus Christi, Body of Christ, that I was turning my back on someone who had given up everything for me. It was all about to change, and really, most importantly, change in my heart. In 2004, I was wandering around downtown on my bike, taking photos, soul searching, asking, what am I doing here? What is my purpose? And I came upon this big old building, and the door that's normally barred shut was mysteriously open. And so with my flashlight, I went inside, and what stood before me just blew me away. It was the Ritz Theatre. Costumes were still on hangers, props were still on the stage, and through the dust in the trash, I could see this magnificent theater standing before me. It was like it had been set here right in front of me for me to find. That pivotal, passionate moment changed everything, and it changed pretty quickly. Everything came rushing into place. The next week, I was playing frisbee golf with a friend of mine, and I just offhandedly asked her, "You don't know anybody who knows anything about theaters, do you?" And she laughed. "Well, my dad's been restoring theaters his whole life." I couldn't believe it. I mean, how often does that happen when you ask a question and all the answers you're looking for are potentially right there in front of your face? That was the start of the Ritz revival. The Ritz Theatre is a 1,200-seat atmospheric venue built in 1929, made to look like a Spanish courtyard. All kinds of things used to be in the Ritz, but when I walked in there that day, it was like stepping onto the Titanic, battered deep in the ocean. You could almost feel what was once in there. I could feel the plush velvet seats. I could hear the cheering audience. I could see the fantastic entertainment on stage. The Ritz was an epicenter for culture back in its day. From vaudeville shows, first-run movies, Howard Hughes owned the Ritz at one time, USO shows, and tons of music. Elvis played there, Stevie Ray Vaughan, the Pointer Sisters, Willie Nelson, Bruce Springsteen, all kinds of music played in the Ritz. And we can have that once again. The Ritz has so much to offer. And really, downtown is an exciting place to be right now. There's so much going on. Downtown is developing. We've got new businesses coming into downtown. We've got Art Walk going on tonight. And we've got open markets. We've got all kinds of things. This bayfront is being completely redeveloped before our eyes. It's so beautiful. But the Ritz is just one piece of that puzzle. It can fill in the gaps and provide a history so rich we can taste it. A lot of us, especially in this room, have been pushing for positive energy and change in the voice in Corpus Christi for years. And the Ritz has really been a source of pride even when it opened in 1929. Consider that when it opened on Christmas Day, the stock market had just crashed 2 months before. It was the start of the Great Depression. And despite the trouble and turmoil outside of its walls, the Ritz was successful. It survived for 60 years. And we're in the same type of situation now. We're facing an economic crisis. We've got people giving up on their dreams left and right. But the Ritz can change that. The smallest voice can have something to believe in with the Ritz. They can find their place here and change that positive pride for Corpus Christi. And all of this is changing, really. We have hidden treasures all around Corpus Christi, but it's hard to find them. We still have to really search for them. We're missing that wow factor. What is going to bring it all together? And the Ritz can really help change that. It's strategically sitting in between the downtown attractions and the sports, entertainment, and arts district on the other side of the highway. You can actually see the Ritz as you're coming off the highway. Can you imagine a sparkling marquee as you exit, inviting you into downtown? And it's really a visual icon for hope, change, and rebirth for downtown, along with all these other projects. It's just one piece of the puzzle. All of these new downtown developments, what they're doing is inspiring businesses to relocate downtown and change the face of downtown. It's happening before our eyes. It's so exciting. And the Ritz, again, is just one piece of that puzzle. More importantly, historic theater restoration has been a major catalyst for economic development in other cities like ours. El Paso, the plaza, it was built by the same architect, and we'll be looking to them and other theaters for support and advice, and we're already getting it back. It's a fantastic network of historic theaters. And so, how do we make all of this happen? All of us know here in this room, we're the same doers doing. We're going after the same funds, limited funds with big needs. And how do we change the story? What do we do? We're tired. We're so tired. Well, we have to look to the community for help. The answer is engaging the community. And the Ritz Theater is really already making that connection to the community. We've got a whole gamut of people from all kinds of generations that have had experiences in the Ritz. We've got first kisses, first dates, first jobs, first concert experiences, all happening in the Ritz from years and years and years ago. And these people are coming out of the woodwork telling us about these stories and telling us about their passion that they had for the Ritz then and how excited they are to see this happening now, and they want to be a part of the project. But now it's our job to engage the rest of the community. Like in our educational programs, that's a big deal. We've already got those going on. We're working with the Del Mar students right now to recreate all of the architectural plans for the Ritz. They're saving us lots of money, and what it's doing is it's engaging these students, giving them a passion for downtown and for the Ritz Theater that they would have never ever had before. So we have to look to the community to see how are we going to change the face of downtown? How are we going to stop making this just about us? We have to make this pie bigger. We have to have help in order to change the voice of Corpus Christi. So what all of us need to do is we need to go engage our neighbors, our friends, our family, find out what is important to them. What in downtown, there's a million projects to get involved in. What kind of thing do they want to be invested in? We have to listen to them and find out how can we plug them into what's happening. And that's when the voice will start changing in Corpus Christi. And more importantly, we need to change that voice into action. And when all of that action comes together, that's when we'll see downtown revived. And that's when we'll see the saturation of culture really coming back to Corpus Christi. And that's going to be exciting. Thank you.